Hey guys, Victor here, and today we're going to be doing another discussion video with today's topic pretty much dealing with an aspect of something that every single card game is pretty much always going to be facing, and that is going to be the inclusion of high rarity cards and why they are, actually important to the game. Now, before we get to the discussion, this is not going to be a video saying how high rarity cards causes people to buy more product, which in turn gives companies more money. No, we don't care about that. This is pretty much going to be like a straight gameplay analysis version of this. And yeah, so hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be convinced to join the High Rarity Army with me. And if not, it's no big deal. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's just jump straight into the video. So for the first topic, I want to cover competitive advantage because there is a type of competitive advantage that you can get from playing high rarity cards. And I'm not talking about like playing cards that are obviously like different in weight, such as some certain hobby leagues or platinumers or things like that. No, we're not doing that. That's illegal and you will get banned if you get caught stacking like that. What I'm talking about is going with like max rarity, very shiny cards and using them effectively against, low level to mid level players, because these are the type of players that are going to be most affected by this. So when you play against like a low level or a mid level player and you use, your ghost rares, your ultimates, your collector's rares, things of that nature, a lot of the times they're going to think that you're way better than you actually are. So they're going to be getting in their own heads a little bit, which may cause them to, commit more misplays or just be nervous in general. And something like that is actually really impactful in the game, especially during like the early rounds of a big tournament. Unfortunately, this typically only works for one game, and that's because if you're bad, let's face it, there's no amount of high rarity cards that can save you from being terrible at this game. And if your opponent sees that you're garbage, well, they're going to be a lot more confident going into games 2 and 3, and then hopefully their nerves will have calmed down by that point, and it's not going to be very pretty for you. But still, that one game that you can win because of like the impact that high rarity cards have on these types of players is honestly invaluable and can go a long way in just helping you win the match, because as long as you win game 1, games 2 and 3 honestly don't really matter all that much, because let's face it, the way that modern Yu-Gi-Oh works is that for games 2 and 3, whoever goes first sides in the floodgate, they flip the floodgate and then they win the game for a lot of situations. Obviously it's not always like that, but for a large majority of the games it does happen pretty frequently. So you pretty much want to have like every advantage that you can generate towards those game 1s, and having high rarity cards is just a fantastic way to do it. So basically my point is, high rarity cards 100% do have an impact on the competitive scene. You just have to be like, really in tune with the community to actually see it at first. But yeah, with that out of the way, now we can just move on to the second talking point. Now the next talking point I want to focus on is flexing. And by that, I mean, sometimes you just need to flex on the plebs and show them why you're the top dog at locals or something. And the best way to go about that is to max rarity your deck. So it doesn't matter if you win or lose, because let's face it, at the end of the day, your deck is more expensive than your opponent's deck, which automatically means that you are the better player, whether they want to admit it or not. They just got lucky this week, I mean, just look at hero players, right? They're the best players in the world. I know, I'm one of them. And we can easily shell out a couple grand for our max rarity hero deck just to go X2 at locals. And yeah, we won or we lost too, but that's perfectly fine. You want to know why? Because our deck is more expensive than their deck, which means that, like I said earlier, we are the better players even if we lose. And if you want to take it one step further, you can make them foreign. So foreign cards in Yu-Gi-Oh especially are allowed to be used, right? So if you live like in North America, English is going to be your main primary language. But if you want to flex even harder, you go for a max rarity card and you get that in French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese. It doesn't matter. You just get it in a different language that you can't read, and then you just flex on your opponent. Just make sure you know the effects though. That's very important. But in all seriousness, it's human nature to want to show off, right? And the best way to do that, regardless of the hobby, it doesn't even have to be like Yu-Gi-Oh or anything trading card game related. Just the best way to go about this is just to spend as much money as you can and get the best whatever available to you at that moment in time. And that's perfectly fine. You just have to remember, just don't be a jerk about it and you should be fine. Like obviously you don't want to act like the way that I was talking earlier, saying blah blah blah, I'm better than you just because my deck is more expensive, because the fact of the matter is it's probably not true. It more than likely isn't true. You're just a bozo who has money. But yeah, with that out of the way, now we can finally get to the final topic, and it's honestly pretty similar to this one about flexing, but it's going to be focusing entirely on you, so stay tuned for that part. Now, as I said earlier, The final topic is going to be pretty similar to flexing. However, instead of trying to, interact with your opponent in this way, we're going to be focusing entirely on ourselves. And the reason I say that is because for the final point that I want to talk about, it's going to be the main reason that you want to go for like higher rarities in your deck is because you just want to support your favorite deck, right? Everyone has that one special deck that means something to them, whether it's because you got your first locals top with it, you got your first YCS top with it, you went to your favorite tournament ever, even if the results weren't as desired, you made a ton of fantastic memories at that tournament, you met your closest friends. Regardless of the reason, this deck means something important to you. And the best way to honor that deck's memory is by getting it as high rarity or max rarity as possible. And luckily in today's day and age, cards have multiple high rarities, so you can pick out whichever one is your favorite, right? Let's take Destiny Hero Malicious, for example. So this card has a bunch of high rarity versions. You can go with Duelist Pack Ultras, you can go with Dark Legends Supers, you can go with Dual Terminal, you can go with Legendary or Royal Omega Pack Secret Rares. And that's just Malicious, right? In the hero archetype itself, there's tons of cards that come with like this type of variant. Miracle Fusion has the Duelist Revolution Super or the Ultimate. Stratos has Ultimates or Starlight Rares. Alias, well, Alias is pretty much just this Ultimate, but hey, whatever. Point is, you're able to express yourself pretty much entirely how you want to in the best way possible, just because we have so many different high rarity cards, and whichever one happens to be your favorite, you just go for it. And then you can pretty much just rock your deck in style and enjoy it, even if it's not like the greatest, right? That's perfectly fine because you're enjoying it. And with that, let's bring this video to a close. So, I hope I was able to convince some of you that higher rarities are important in this game. I know some guys are just like, why would you play higher rarities? Common is all you ever need. But the point is, it's not. If you truly care about the game and you want to show off why, you have to go for the higher rarities. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.